I am working on a very long video. This might end up being 2 hours long. My files related to the video are a complete mess too, so it might be a while until that long video is finished. The thing is, I got something else I want to talk about, that I think is an important insight, and that people need to be made aware of. So I will make this shorter video then get back to work on my longer one. The important insight I want to share is this. The one commonality that almost all anti-male men seem to have in common is a strong man front. Anti-male men seem to be addicted to peddling a strong man narrative. The problem with a man putting on a strong man front is more than just empty bravado. The man putting on the strong man front is in fact being passive-aggressive. He is not only falsely implying that he doesn't need anyone, he is signaling to people that he is unwilling to help anyone too. Most of these men end up talking about weak men, and blaming them for everything. They like to imply that society is fucked up, because weak men are not bullied enough. This is scapegoating with an undertone of male-on-male violence. In MGTOW circles, there seems to be a lot of talk about weak collectivist men, versus strong individualist men. I have talked about this before, but individualism versus collectivism is a false dichotomy. Only someone who is completely ignorant of how civilizations work can claim he is an individual. Human autonomy and free choice only exists because high-tech collectivism enables it. Libertarian, tough guy, strong man posturing reminds me a lot of feminism in many ways. Women were directly dependent on men in their relationships with them. If a woman didn't have a man to provide for her, it was a lot tougher for her to survive. Most people lived in highly collectivized extended families anyway. Women have always reaped the most benefits from collectivism. The Industrial Revolution destroyed the extended family. It made female dependency on men a lifestyle choice for women, instead of a necessity. Women gained control of the family unit, and since women do not value men innately for their humanity, women needed a pretext to discard men. Feminism was the pretext that women used to discard men. Feminism is in fact Briffault's law on a historical scale, women relabeling male provision and pandering to women as abusive. Women saw no need to associate with men anymore, unless it was in relationships that were highly advantageous to women, and put more burdens on men. The strong man narrative is very similar to the feminist one, men using technology that only exists due to government-funded research, working jobs using high-tech infrastructure built by the state, living under a capitalist system that can only exist with a state protecting property rights, and consumer rights. These men want a pretext not to give back to the state. People have to pay taxes into this system, but resource-hoarding men do not want to give back, and are resentful about it. So they relabel giving back to the system that enables them to thrive as abusive. This seems very feminist-like to me. The strong man narrative in pro-male spaces must be challenged, and in fact utterly rejected. The strong man narrative encourages passivity. It discourages men from working together for the greater good of all men. If a man is inclined to work with other men, he will be discouraged from doing so, if he sees a bunch of libertarian men posturing about being an individual. If men label collectivism as evil, men will be discouraged from being collective. Society is shaped and formed via collectivism. Anti-collectivism is just men trying to discourage men from working together out of resentment. It is not just that strong man posers want to be passive, they also want to discourage other men from doing anything. Then the pseudo-strong men will wonder why society is gynocentric and why men get a shit deal. Then the pseudo-strong men will use the shit deal men get as a pretext to not engage in collectivism. Then the deal society offers for men will then get even worse. Men have to put their egos aside, and realize as individuals that they are powerless. If high-status men can get falsely accused by women and have their lives destroyed, that means all men are helpless if the gynocentric system wants to crush them. Men are like helpless herd animals. Each man helpless individual prey to women and to anti-male society. The better organized rule over the less well organized, it is that simple. So strongman poses are just encouraging men to be less well organized and ruled over. The strongman narrative is a pretext to be cowardly, while trying to appear strong at the same time. I am sick of it, and I am sick of men being second-rate. Men need to stop ego wanking and unite for their own greater good. Almost all men who engage in strongman posturing end up revealing themselves to be anti-male. So it is a waste of one's time engaging with them if one has a pro-male agenda.